Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, wrestling fans, and sports entertainment fans, welcome to the No Shave Man Cave. I'm Ellie Jair.
I am Jay Tilly.
Bro, we have had all this wrestling between the last time we talked and now, and wow, it was something said
Yeah.
like a question.
I was going to say,
High
don't you say it was
hopes.
good.
I had high hopes, and I felt like I was watching Raw after WrestleMania. Youch.
Yeah, there was definitely some interesting calls on SummerSlam. I'm guessing
Mm-hmm.
is what you're talking about because and so I started watching SummerSlam and about halfway through I was like, I wonder what's happening on Collision. And I switched over and watched Collision instead. And then I was like,
Mm.
well, I guess I should probably go back and watch SummerSlam just because we cover it and we talk about it.
Right.
But it's a shame that like to me personally, AEW Collision was much more entertaining. Storylines were better. The matches weren't slogging through boringness, and
Yeah.
it's a shame because I mean, even the Ricochet Logan Paul match, I had really high hopes for this match, and
Huge.
it flopped. Well,
Yeah.
it didn't flop. Like they performed well. They did the work in the ring. But all the talk was this was going to be an unforgettable moment, unforgettable match. I can't name a spot in the match that I
Yeah.
didn't like. Nothing to me went viral in that match, and I feel like that's how they touted it and wanted it to be. Yet it didn't,
Yeah.
and almost like they held back a little because maybe they're going to do a series and they're going to do more, especially the way it ended. But even the ending, like maybe they knew obviously like, oh well, Logan Paul's gonna hit him with brass knucks, so they went out and said, well, we're not gonna kill each other because everybody's just gonna talk about the fact that Logan Paul's gonna cheat to win.
Yeah.
So why should we kill ourselves and we'll save it for down the road? Which maybe, but then why wouldn't you just stuck on a thrown him on the Raw and had him do a match and then do the blow off at the pay per view? I just
Yeah.
it was strange booking all around for me.
It was extremely obvious that Logan was going to get the win. The you mentioned the match and the we're like, oh man, there's going to be a moment that went viral, and the only thing that I could think of that would be viral esque would be Ricochet going limp after he got clocked with the Nux,
Yep.
and then the look on Samantha's face when she had to announce Logan
Yeah.
as the winner. So, great heel action, really good heat on him. No heat went to the referee, which is exactly what you want. And we got the result that we both had discussed that Logan gets the W and Ricochet takes the loss.
Yeah, which I mean, I think we all knew. I just was expecting more from that match,
Yeah,
and not just that one. Like, uh, you know, I'm not gonna run down every match on the card just because we can't. I'm not as good at it as you listen to Fightful
yeah,
and What Culture guys, and they're really good at recapping, which we can get to. But
yeah,
I just kind of like us chatting about it, what we enjoyed in wrestling the past
yeah.
week and since we talked to each other. But uh, to me, the MMA match with Shayna and Ronda, I liked it, but it didn't fit on the card, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Like, I
100%.
felt like, all right, this is like we had talked about. Like, I want them to go out there and look like they're having an MMA match. And for the most part, they did. I mean, they were laying in some stiff hits, it looked like.
Yeah, did you
At the end of
watch
that
Monday
match,
Night Raw?
yeah, I was going to say she
Oh
had a
man,
nice
Shayna was
shiner.
shined up. She busted her thumb
Yep.
and did something to her elbow too. Like,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, they went out there and like I said, did like a sparring match, which is great,
Mhm.
but it was very disjointed after watching very sports entertainery. That's a new word.
Yeah,
I'm going to stick with it. Sports
there
entertainery
it
stuff,
is.
and you roll into this, which like was a soft version of UFC.
hmm
So it was interesting. I enjoyed the match. It just felt very jarring in the context of SummerSlam, I thought.
Yeah, so we take MMA and sports entertainment and we call it mixed entertainment. Bam.
There you
There
go.
it is. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I thought the Seth Rollins and Finn Balor was the match of the night. Really, really told a great story that I don't think it's over. And then you watch Monday Night Raw. I definitely don't think it's over. So there's, um, all that history all the way back to the first Universal Championship. Now he's in the ring with the first World Heavyweight Champion. And then you have all the inner turmoil and strife with the Judgment Day, which tease it, but don't go too far because I definitely don't want to lose Judgment Day and the energy that they're kicking out because I think that's awesome. And as much as we hate the character of Dirty Dom or ex-con Dom or whatever, man, it's really something. And now tonight on NXT, it's Rey Mysterio coming to NXT to go against Dom for the North American Championship.
Oh,
and
I didn't know that.
that's going to be bonkers. So
I might actually watch NXT tonight.
yeah. So that the performance center is going to explode. It's going to be packed. I would venture to hopefully they keep the cameras and the lighting and everything the same, kind of that grungy indie feel. Not quite black and gold NXT, but it's still a fun product. So the crossover in it, love it. And then you have the chicanery of the Asuka versus Bianca, and just another straw on Bianca's back to make it break. And her colors and her ring gear was a little darker this time, and I'm like, okay, we're slowly turning. And then you take the world title that she's been fighting to win back away from her. Not that way, not tonight. So I think we'll see her one more time in that character, maybe two more times, and then she's going to lose it. And we'll have a heel Bianca, kind of like what she was down in NXT.
See, now that you say that, I appreciate the ending of that match a little more, maybe. Because when you put it that way, I was like, okay. Because at first I'm watching, I'm like, why even give it to Bianca for 30 seconds to hold it? Just have Asuka win it and have Io take it from Asuka the same way. You get to the same end, and now you set up the Asuka and Io program, which I guess you could still do because, like you said, now you've spun Bianca off into whatever, and I don't know what Charlotte's going to do. I thought that match was really good too.
Yeah.
Like you said, the Finn Balor one was match of the night. That three-way with those three women was really good, and I thought was very close to being match of the night too. I back on the Finn and Seth Rollins thing. Again, I didn't like the ending. I thought it got too screwy and all that goofiness. And maybe that was my problem with the show overall. Because I thought, I think I might have said it before we came on air, and I'll say it now. I thought SummerSlam was probably the worst pay-per-view of the year so far. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was dull. I thought it was, I don't even know what it was. It was a vibe thing or what. Maybe my expectations were too high, which giving WWE and their track record on premium live events should have been high.
Yeah, especially the last three. I mean, they've been phenomenal.
Yep.
And, and then you sit here and you listen to them tout the most sponsorship, the most souvenir, the most watched premium live event, the trended, top 5 on Twitter X, all week. And it's just like, you're hearing all this stuff and you're like, but my highlight was, believe it or not, the SummerSlam Battle Royal with my guy, L.A. Knight. Yeah. Everybody's talking about it. And my man pulled out the win, and I love me some Slim Jims. Oh, yeah.
And it's a shame that a Battle Royal was the highlight of the night for you, though.
Dude, yeah.
Because
Oh,
hate battle royals. They're
yeah,
so
me too. Yeah,
boring
yeah, I,
and formulaic, but
yeah.
I was excited to see him to win, and the pop was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to another show, and one of the guys called in who was there, and he said that that LA Knights pop was bigger than Cody's, and the
Wow.
only thing that was different with Cody's is they continued the song. And I'm like, oh yeah, we need to, we didn't strap him up with the U.S. title, but I think he would be able to elevate the title, the United States title, almost to the point where Gunther has the Intercontinental
Hmm.
Championship and really elevate, Friday night. Well, you got
Yeah, but
LA
now he's on
Knight.
Monday.
He shows up on Monday, and you're sitting there going, well, wait a minute. There was this draft. Oh, wait, I forgot. They don't want us to remember. So is he going to be pulling a Dom where he's going to be on Monday and Friday because he's so over? And of the top five things that are being sold, LA Knight has three, and Roman, Cody, Usos, LA Knight, and you're like, well,
Wow.
all right, well, he's obviously moving the merch, and he gets the win, much like the old Tribal Chief got the cheap win on a match that I didn't understand,
Yeah.
and
It was just a no DQ match.
yeah, and I'm thinking tribal combat. Like, okay, they put their heads together in the ring. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be honorable. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, this is gonna be like a peer match or like some kind of, where it's just gonna be them in a battle garb and kendo sticks and almost like a last man like I didn't know what to expect.
Yep.
And just like you said, it was a renamed no DQ
Yep.
that totally, like denounced everything the Usos have ever done in the WWE this way when, you had Heyman holding the lay, which not for me to say, but I don't think he should have been holding it because it was tribal combat.
Mm-hmm.
And there could have been something else in there, whether it was one of the elders, whether Nia Jax shows up, like something.
Yeah.
And who, by the way, is rumored to
Yep.
be coming back to WWE. But yeah, all in all, two beards on SummerSlam.
Yeah, same.
Really,
And-
kudos to them and the money that they generated, and the men and women and behind the curtain, killed it. Cody, slayed one of the sports entertainment beasts. He can now move on. I think he's going to be in a program involving the Judgment Day, obviously. And then you've got legit injuries by Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, so they may end up
That
having
elbow.
to drop the titles.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a bursa sack, is what
Oh.
the
Man,
that's
that
a
looked
little
gross.
yeah. So
Yeah, I'm there. Two beards is probably what I gave it to.
mhm.
It just, we pitched better ideas for the tribal combat. Like, all it was a street fight, no DQ, whatever you want to call it, just
Mhm.
standard. Like, there was nothing special feeling about it at all.
Yeah.
And then everybody's up in arms in the controversy with the ending. And for me, I'm like, really? Like, we talked about this happening as soon as they put Jay out and Jimmy out. I'm like, well, yeah, he's going to turn on him. Well, you know it's coming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope they wrap this whole storyline up soon. Rolling into Monday, Cody already dropped a, hey, Brock acknowledged you. I'm like, oh.
Yep.
Okay.
I was like, oh, it's beginning.
Yep. And then Seth
And-
Rollins comes out, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want to see Seth Rollins and Cody again. Cody beat him
Yeah.
3 times in a row. Like, don't need to see that feud continue.
Yeah.
Don't want that to be the story he's gonna do. Like, no, like he needs to go after Roman.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, they've got until April to build that back up, and hopefully you and I will be there.
So
by the
they'll
way,
build it
our No Shave Man Cave email has some info on tickets and stuff for us. So somebody sent
Oh.
us like, hey, here's the price list and all that. So we'll have to check that out.
Let's do it. Yeah, I think it'll be a good match at WrestleMania, but it'll be this time next year when Cody is holding that championship when Roman will go away. I think he's gonna do something with the Olympics. If you've heard and seen a
okay.
couple of his commercials, where he said he'll be on SmackDown all the way something having to do with until summer of 2024 when he's in France for the Olympics or something. So,
okay. Cool.
you know, and then you had the rumors that The Rock was going to show up for SummerSlam
Yep.
and that Waller was going to somehow be involved in SummerSlam. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you're going to have Waller on, but you're not going to have the women's world champion, Rhea Ripley. And the only way we got to see her was I'm trying
during
to think.
the Judgment Day thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, did she even come out? I don't think she
Yeah,
did.
I
Now
don't-
that you say
yeah.
that, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I kind of blocked out a lot of SummerSlam.
Yeah. Yeah. So SummerSlam, you know, WWE, you know, you can't hit all home runs and,
Yep.
you know, trust the process and everything that Papa H is doing over there. The men and women, boys and girls behind the curtain are killing it. And, you know, Bobby Roode is getting ready to start as a producer. So I think
Yeah.
that will be pretty cool. Rumors have it that Nick Aldis is about to make his sighting. Same thing with Kari Zane. Super exciting.
Yeah, I heard she's
deal
coming
is
back
all but
WWE.
done, and that's just freaking phenomenal. I'd love to see the WWE and Stardom do something, but I think there'd be more money to be made with some of the women in Impact and some of the women in AEW. Just with the style, I think that would be phenomenal.
And
But-
AEW's got a better track record working with other
Agreed. Agreed,
WWE doesn't really, other than the Mickey James thing, which we all thought was opening a door, and no, that was it. Just
Yep.
because that one thing. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, oh, sad puppy face.
Yeah. But,
But-
Collision was a
Whoa.
fun show.
Collision was
I
so
think-
good.
Like, you know, in the ratings, Collision did not do very well.
Well, yeah, it was
but-
up against SummerSlam.
Right. But I think if there was a way, and there probably is, I'm just not smart enough, where you take the recorded numbers
Right.
of viewing, and I would be willing to bet that those numbers would be comparable or higher than a normal Collision, because people are going to get off of SummerSlam and go over to Collision and be like, "Woof, you saved me. I was waiting for some wrestling,
Yep.
and I got way too much variety show, albeit some great, wrestlers, sports entertainers were in the ring. Yeah, Collision really delivered, and I watched about an hour of it right after WrestleMania, and then I woke up in the morning and rewatched it. Great stuff. I mean, just so awesome, and it blows my mind that they're taking their show on the road. And if you look at the numbers in the venues that they play during the week on their TVs and on their recordings, it's like 4,500, 5,000
Yep.
people in those, and it sounds like they're in stadiums, and the way they have it mic'd and cameraed, and just such an awesome feeling.
Speaking of numbers, you see not Raw. Dynamite 200 did over 1 million in the ratings, so
awesome.
big deal for them. So that's really cool. And I mean, I thought the show was good, but I look at some of the other shows that didn't do good ratings. I'm like, why are y'all just turning into that?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
missed, some of this fantastic stuff in the past.
You
So hopefully it'll
really
be a
missed
nice
out.
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
it'll be a nice trend starting for them.
Yeah. And kudos and shout out to the new women's champion. She was, Sheeta was the champion during the COVID era, and for her to be able to win the championship on a card that was so monumental, and now we're talking about the numbers, just it was awesome. And
Yeah.
I tweeted after watching that, I was like, this reminds me of someone else who it wouldn't be a bad thing to strap him up and let him get a little bit of that energy. So I'm listening to another show, and they say, "Oh well, Drew McIntyre got to be the first sports entertainer to hear the roar of the crowd at WrestleMania in Tampa. I'm like, what? That's his WrestleMania moment? Come
Yeah,
on.
to hear the
Come
crowd.
on.
After
Yeah,
they'd been delayed because of the rain and the lightning and
Yep.
everything. Yep.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah,
I just
it would be
that was
nice
just
for them
lazy.
to do something for good old Drew, but there it is. He didn't win either. So,
Yeah.
but we kind of knew he wasn't. Curious
Yeah.
where that's going to go on him and where that's taking him.
Yeah.
But
I think
yeah,
that's turning him to the dark side.
Yep.
I don't know
think
what
so.
heel that is on the roster right now they're going to flip. So that'll be interesting. Is there going to be a double cross, a double swerve? Who's he going to get into a program with that will ultimately turn him to the dark side, and he gets rid of the sword and all that, and he just comes out in jeans and a black leather jacket and thumps everybody on his way to winning the Intercontinental title. And then Sheamus gets pissed, and then they wrestle at WrestleMania, and Sheamus gets his Intercontinental Championship. Book it.
Awesome. Boom. Make it
So,
happen.
I was
Papa
thinking
H,
that one.
write it down.
Yeah. Put it in pen. That's legit. Don't pencil that in.
Yeah. Vince proof it.
So,
Vince proof
yeah.
it.
Oh, golly. Man,
So,
it's great he hasn't been around, by the way.
I know it has been kind of nice. You started talking Collision, dude. Again, great show. Big Bill and Cage versus FTR. So, in my opinion, FTR had an interesting run towards the end of their AEW thing before they kind of took a break for health and to rehab and everything. And they said they were going to probably come back and have one last run. To me, this run of theirs right now, I mean, right now, that best tag team there is, in my opinion. If you look at, since Collision started, all the matches they've been into, it's a different style every week almost. And this match with Big Bill and Cage was so fun. It was just a blast. And trying to get the big rig or shatter machine, I think they call it now, trying to get that on Big Bill, and he's just like, what? Too big. So then they ended up dropping it and doing something else. And they're having such a great run right now. I cannot wait for All In and the Bucks and FTR to go at it again. And I almost hope FTR beats them. And you could build up a fourth one down the road, but keep FTR with that title.
Yeah, I think they're really hitting their stride. This is interesting AEW programming. They're going to have FTR and Punk versus the House of Black.
Oh,
and
sorry, I had a moment.
Please hold. Talks amongst yourselves. I wholeheartedly believe that the smart money is you bet on the house and the House of Black wins. But dude, CM Punk walking around with the Trios Championship and the Real World's Heavyweight Championship.
Yep.
Bro, that would be something. Yeah, and FTR with the tag titles, like, sick.
Yeah, and it builds into this whole narrative that we've been getting about how he's, not wanting to work with the young guy, even though we know it's not true, but it's kind of that narrative you hear. It builds into that, so now you can keep using that. Like, all right, well, yeah, Punk got his own show, and now he holds all the titles. Yeah, so, like, now he can say stuff like, yeah, and well, now he can say stuff like, I'm the belt collector. Well, now you're starting to build the Kenny Omega going, no, I'm the original belt collector. Yeah. And I don't want to see House of Black lose it, especially looking at going forward. Like, I don't want to keep CMFTR as a team all the time.
Yeah.
I think this match next Friday is going to, he dropped that thing on the bottom during the match, and I forgot about what match was on. I'm like, wait, rewind. Did that just say CMFTR versus the House of Black? Yes, please. It's going to be so good. Hopefully, on paper, should be so good. And oh, man, yeah, good stuff. But again, I don't know. I think you'll see House of Black win. And hopefully we'll start setting up some more trios for them to go after, because that match they had on Collision was really good. A lot of fun. not AR Fox, Dante, no, not Dante, the other Martin. I'm gonna mess him up. Action
Oh, yeah.
Andretti, Martin, and Big Shotty uh, put on a hell of a show, but got the crap beat out of them, and it was so much fun to watch. I
Yeah,
had a
it
good
was,
time.
yeah. Action Andretti, relatively new to the business, just super athletic. Brody King, just ridiculous. And I don't know if he'll ever be the world champion in AEW, but if he were to go to MLW or Impact, he would be the champion tomorrow. Just the style
Yeah,
and the size of competitor, and I'd love to see him in some cross promotion with some New Japan folks. Just that the style that they work, I think that would be so much fun. And yeah, the House of Black, the whole entire team, they're ridiculous. So and those titles so awesome. But
yeah.
yeah, they that whole entire show was so much fun. And like you said, you left SummerSlam to go over to Collision. I gutted through because I wanted to see what tribal combat was, and you know, and now you have the bloodline, all four of them, sort of fractured, and Roman is pissed because of how weak Jay made him look. Jimmy's pissed at Roman because look what he made him do to Jay, his brother, and then Solo is pissed because his brothers are fighting and he got knocked out during the match, and there's all this stuff. But then you have the House of Black and you have AEW and the way they book and the way they write, and it's just it it's awesome booking both ways, but not having to take on and off your WWE hat or
Hmm.
brain makes AEW so enjoyable to watch because your belief is absolutely suspended, and almost to the point where I thought they were actually going to get Big Bill in the Shatter Machine.
Me too.
And I was like, wait a minute, is he? I'm like, oh, it's too early. And
Yeah.
but when they nailed Cage with that, oof,
Oof. Yep.
it was nice. But
And
Cage,
why did he come out with Sting face paint on? Like I
yeah,
know he plays tribute to him, but I'm like, what? Why would he do that in this match?
yeah, in
I
this
just
match specific, like what? Yeah,
yep.
what tie? No, I thought I thought Collision was a lot of fun. AEW programming in general has been so entertaining. Yeah, there's been some moments or shows where you're like, oof, but you got entertaining characters like Christian coming out telling security, "Hey,"
Get that.
and that's his kid. That's
Yeah.
his kid. Hey, she's not credentialed.
She's not
You're
credentialed.
like, what? What a
That
bastard!
was so good.
And yeah, that's
And then the Jay White and the Bang Bang Gang, they were so
yeah,
much fun with the cutout, and then it gets smacked down, and here comes the real Jay White. And I love
yeah,
how doing their Bang Bang Gang, and then Juice Robinson like holds the cardboard cutout so it's in there too. Just so much fun.
yeah.
It
Tony
was just
Schiavone's standing there. He's like, guns up,
yeah.
guns up,
And Tony's
and
like,
he just
ugh.
like rolls his eyes like,
And even that match with Metalik and White was a lot of fun because you had Juice Robinson running around the ring screaming and yelling and
oh
interacting with the
my god, he's
thing.
so obnoxious.
You had the guns on commentary, and Niall McGuinness just
Oh,
loving
that
every.
was awesome.
Oh, he
That
was
was
loving every
awesome.
minute of it.
You figure those the two of them have been around wrestling their entire lives.
Right.
And Dad has sat there and watched wrestling and done the play by play. And now here they are, these little snarky, sarcastic, and we've met them, and they are every bit of the
Yeah.
character that they are on TV. This isn't an act. They are
Yep.
no shit characters. And damn, that was a funny bit. I didn't think I would enjoy the evolution of the guns. I thought they were just going
Yep.
to be this like knockoff DX hokey, but they are coming up with some funny new stuff to the point where you look at the Acclaim and they are not the same. And the
Nope.
way that character is developing and the work that AEW is doing with that character and they're going to carry the boots around. I'm like, oh man, where is this going to go?
Yeah.
What hurts me is if this goes to where they're competing for the tag team championships or something, and Billy Gunn costs the Acclaim, and you're just gonna be like, wait a minute, what happened here? I thought you were gonna go away, and now this is almost like a what is the worst fake retirement ever? It would have to be Mark Henry with the salmon jacket,
Oh yeah.
and here's Billy Gunn. Oh, this is it. I try. Boom, and he just
See, I see it going a different way.
uh-oh.
I see them convincing Billy Gunn to come back, and at All In, you get the House of Black versus the Acclaimed with Billy Gunn one more time. Because how are you not going to get 80,000 people to chant "Scissor Me Daddy Ass"? I mean, come
Oh my
on.
God. What is
So
the
I think that, and now maybe they lose, and
Oh, scissor me,
oh man,
daddy.
it's gonna be amazing.
80,000 Brits going off the hook.
It's gonna be amazing.
Ah,
And
God.
if they lose, he can officially retire if he really wants to.
Yeah.
Officially retire in front of 80,000 people.
Mm.
So that's how I think it'll go. Now, if they win, he gets a title and it's great. But if he loses, cool. Give him that retirement in front of 80,000 people. Let him sing "Scissor Me Daddy Ass," and
Mm.
just it's crazy. And you saw the newest report with it's 80,000 people ish, but it just surpassed, what was it, WrestleMania 6 or 7, which was the highest grossing, or one of the highest grossing pay-per-views. So it's number 4 now in the rankings on wrestling attendance.
My word. Mm.
It's just surpassed like one of the biggest
Wow.
WrestleManias, and I'm like, that's
Yeah, and
crazy.
super historic too. I mean, you had the Road Warriors, LOD,
Yep.
Legion of Doom ride their, motorcycles down. You had British Bulldogs and that was a fun WrestleMania. But yeah, I can't wait to see how the production goes, how the field is going to be, the pitch, whatever they're calling, how how are they going to go this uber grandiose, disgusting monstrosity, but soccer season is in play, and how
Yep.
extravagant, and what risk are they going to put to the field. So yeah, and oh man, I can't wait. And this new character that Tony Storm is coming out with,
Oh,
this like
so great.
what I don't want to compare it to Broken, but it's just like, oh man, I'm feeling it. Instantly I was hooked. Like,
Yep. I thought the same thing.
Just hooked. Like, damn,
I thought the Martinez and Statlander match was really good. Little clunky in some spots, but really well hit. I almost felt like they went out to prove a point.
Yep.
And okay, Diamante comes out and attacks. Cool, we got another woman involved. Wasn't the greatest booking, maybe not, but you still can build some stuff through it. So it's storytelling. And then then the Tony Storm thing. I'm like, do more of that.
Yes.
Like, do more character driven women wrestling, because you've got Tony Storm, you've got Sheeta, you've got Britt Baker, you've got Thunder Rosa, you've got Martinez, Athena. Like, I can keep going. Riho, Statlander. You've got all Serena D. We haven't seen her in ages. You've got all these amazing female talent, and with everything that happened last week and all the blow up of the locker room and everything else, I just like, maybe it'll finally be a slap in the face to go, oh, maybe we should probably do better with this. And I didn't really feel it with that match. I kind of felt it with Tony Storm's promo, though. I'm like, okay, this is something more than I'm just with my friends, I'm with the Outcast. This was like an actual character development, and hopefully they run it and do something really good with it. Maybe we're going to get Tony Storm versus Saraya at, All In instead of Sheeta like we thought. But who knows? I liked it. I thought it was a step in the right direction for sure, and hopefully it continues. Just like Sheeta winning on the 200 episode, I thought that was a nice step. So we'll see how things go and continue. But yeah, I love that character thing.
Yeah. Have you sort of softened your stance on it being Sheeta versus? Oh no, you were saying Saraya.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Saraya and Sheeta
okay.
at All In.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and
I think unless they, because we all know Hater's not able to come back yet. So,
yeah, it sucks.
well, at least that's what the reports are saying. Now,
Yeah,
AEW's been known to swerve us. They're
yeah,
very
that's
old
true.
school
Yeah,
when it comes to
very
that.
very convincing. Yeah,
So maybe we'll get a surprise, but I'm pretty sure you'll see probably Saraya. My guess is win the title at All In just for the
yeah.
hometown pop.
And what would be terrible would be to have it be a three-way with Tony and Soraya in it, because you don't want any like you don't want any division or any fractures in the Outcast, because
Yeah.
that's great character work. Now, where it would get, green isn't a good color on Tony is when Soraya is carrying the world championship and Tony is still like this broken character, and her identity was this her being the world champion, and now her best friend is carrying her, essentially her baby around. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is like we talk about this all the time. Like, you could do 100 things with this wrestler and this character, and it happens to be a woman. Whoop-de-doo, go kill it with this character work. And now here we are. We're seeing a more vile, angry side of Athena, and you could play on that in the ring. You've got this real, hardworking Statlander character. Okay, you can use that. You can work it. And someone else who could be an awesome antagonist, even though she's not on screen right now, is Jade Cargill, because she's not sure if she's coming back. And you could have her be some kind of foil somewhere and on another storyline, just like, the other part of the storyline, who, who else was involved with the bloodline? There was someone who got Jimmy in the building, blah, 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 blah. Boom, now comes another family member. But, with just like with the knuckles, brass knuckles, who gave Logan the brass knuckles? Could that be the challenger against Ricochet next? So now, you have this other part of the story of who else is involved. And, there's so much you can do with a lot of these characters. And Jade Cargill can be sort of off in the cut, and then you do a vignette of her sitting up in the ivory tower somewhere of power, just saying, "Yeah, I'll rule AEW when I'm ready."
Yeah.
And then she shuts her computer and does continues on with that and builds up until maybe Monet is healthy enough to go, and now you can have those would be two amazing styles to clash. I don't know how. I don't know if Monet could carry a match with Jade, who had just their skill sets are so different.
I absolutely
I would.
could.
Yeah, I'd love to see it, but yeah, no, I
even-
totally agree with you. The women writing,
Yep.
is really starting to move along nice.
And you could even do other stuff. Like I was thinking about. So we've now seen Diamante and Martinez, forming up. But next week on Collision or even on Dynamite, you could do something in the backstage area where you see Saraya standing and talking to Athena, Diamante and Martinez, and or Ty Valkyrie, and you can start planting the seeds of a bigger faction from the Outcasts.
Yeah.
And that all it takes is shooting something in the background at AEW, and you go, wait, was that what was that? So
yeah.
I think they could do
sprinkling the seeds.
Yeah.
Sprinkling the seeds. Oh yeah. Freak out. Man.
And we were talking to our buddy Tony, and I was talking about women's wrestling in general. And I remember when AEW launched, one of the things Kenny Omega wanted to do was try to make the women's wrestling a lot like what the women's wrestling is in Japan. And I haven't seen that come to fruition yet. So I'm hoping eventually he's going to go, look, Tony, I told you. I told you needed women wrestling. Look at the backlash and the blowback we're getting now. Let me book it. Give me the pencil for the women's division, because I think he would do a really good job booking up a women's division, because it's something he's passionate about.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's so athletic. He'd be able to teach some of the moves with some of the athletes from New Japan, from Stardom, from the Indies. Hell, even some of the sports entertainers, they depart from the WWE, NXT, wherever, and Impact has got such a great women's division. All of that combined, Omega could really bolster the women's division, really the women's wrestling movement,
Yep.
and just imagine another great pay per view, kind of like um, what we saw Mickey James put on a couple years ago with NWA sponsoring that. So
Shoot, go out and hire
yeah,
Mickey James to book your women's division.
there. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I mean,
go,
she's off TV, still recovering from
yep.
injury as a Impact champion. So
Yeah.
she's got some time.
You could go out and hire her to come book your women's division, and it's an opportunity for either AEW or WWE. Because if they get that women's division running, whichever company does it, because both are suffering
Yep.
right now, there's a lot of talent they could bring in, almost to the point where they could almost make a fourth show and just be a women's show and be able to book it and almost have it like the old Women of Wrestling or
Yeah.
like Memphis Wrestling, where you've
Glow,
got
maybe.
or Glow or one of those old school like.
Yeah.
And now, if you're showing whichever one it is, hey, look, we are building a women's division. We have done all this. Look at what we're doing. Now you got people like Charlotte and Bianca and Asuka going, well, WWE money's nice, but that's actually really good booking and storytelling over there.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. You got Statlander or DND or Thunder going, wow, WWE's putting on a good women's division. Maybe we should go over there.
Yeah.
So I think it's just looking at it as a business sense, I think it's a good draw and would be a good way to look at it. But
Yeah.
I'm no businessman, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
With
And
the
I was thinking, AEW was sort of ahead of their time because you've got the world champion and then you've got the TBS champion. And I'm like, well, it's kind of like the WWE. They have two world's championships, and it used to be the Friday Night SmackDown was
Yeah.
sort of the premier title because that's where Charlotte was, but she's not the champion anymore. So they're building characters, and right now, arguably Rhea Ripley would be the more credible champion. And
If they put her on
so
damn
they still
pay-per-views.
what's it?
I said
Yeah,
if they'd actually put her on
that's-
a damn pay-per-view.
Yeah, I still don't understand that. One of the most over acts,
Yep.
man, woman, or child, celebrity, whatever, and you have her, on the sideline. But
Becky
it's
Lynch
whatever.
too. I don't whatever.
Yeah, that was bizarre. She had some strong booking on Monday, and Monday Night Raw was significantly better than the pay per view,
Mm-hmm.
and really moved some great character work. Seeing Gable get the win, I
Oh,
thought
that was fantastic.
I thought was fantastic. I love the video package. I cannot wait to watch Friday Night SmackDown and hear what Jay has to say,
Yeah.
because I just envision it's going to be better than the match that we saw, because it's, there's going to be more of an emotional tie. Because as soon as I saw it was a no DQ match, I was like, well, wait a minute. Didn't we see that like 2 years ago when the title
Every-
reign began?
I feel like we've seen that with
Like-
every one of Roman's matches.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he's just got to gimmick him up. Because I was trying to think, I'm like, when has he had a straight up just match?
Yeah.
Cody maybe I think was pretty straight up. It wasn't, but
Yeah.
his stuff was Brock, and we had the tractor issue. Then the ones with KO, I just remember all the hardcore match. Like I just don't remember
Yeah.
him having a straight up wrestling feud. Which
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's moving some storylines.
Yep,
We're on our
absolutely.
way to Payback. And, we had talked earlier about what we thought the card was going to do and then what it was going to lead to. I was totally floored by the Cody Rhodes Brock match, and it wasn't stepped up, and Cody pretty much won clean, and then Brock acknowledged
Yep.
Cody. So,
Real quick for
You
those listening to us maybe for the first time, this is how we go. We're all over the place all the time. We just talk wrestling. We try to keep it formatted to go AEW, WWE together, but when you tune in, we're just gonna talk. We're just two dudes chatting. I just thought about it because we bounced back to WWE while talking about it. We haven't even brought up
Woo.
bourbon or barbecue yet, and we talk about that a lot too.
Jeez, man. I still got your birthday gift over here.
Oh, bring it. Well, we haven't seen each other in a while, but yeah, we'll have to
Yeah.
get together. I got speaking of bourbon, did I tell you I got that Colonel Taylor's
Oh man, yes you
it
did.
is so good.
I can only imagine.
Oh, it's you have to come over for, let's see, what do we got, another pay-per-view? Yeah, maybe we'll see about getting you over for one of the pay-per-views and we'll bust out
Heck yeah.
the allocated bottle. And I look, see, we went from wrestling to barbecue. I just saw a video on bacon ribs. So they're ribs, but they leave the belly on them. So that's the part where the bacon is. So you cook them like ribs, but they're got the belly, the pork belly still on them.
God.
And I was like, I'm going to try those. I'm trying to find where to buy them. I
Yes.
haven't had a chance to buy them yet, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trying those. So next pay-per-view,
all
I'm gonna
in.
get some, and I'm going to do bacon ribs with some Colonel Taylor's bourbon or
Oof.
whatever other bourbon I've got. We'll find something.
Yes. We'll rustle something up between now and then. That is a faux show.
Dude, it looked so good. And the guy cooked them, so like the bacon was like crispy bacon almost. And so it was kind of like I'm making my mouth water just talking about it now.
Jeez. Just imagine a rib with that awesome bacon texture
Yes.
and whatever rub you like to use. I don't use coarse black pepper here because my oldest son doesn't like it, so I have to
Yeah.
get around that to get that nice bark. Man, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Little
See, for
sippy
ribs,
sip
I
of
usually do
some
like
bourbon.
brown sugar or sugary usually on my ribs, or sweet and spicy.
Mhm.
But yeah, I use black pepper on the brisket. So man, you need that bark on that brisket.
Oh yeah.
You need that.
Yeah.
Be able to cut it and go crunch as you're cutting
Oh.
through it. That's a good bark. Man, I haven't grilled in a while. I might have to grill something this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be running back and forth to Orlando. Gonna drop a load of stuff off for the new college student going toward UCF, and Valencia is the school he's gonna be going to. So
Okay.
got to drop some stuff off. So I'll be racing to get back on Saturday. And
I was gonna say, don't miss Saturday's show
nope.
live on the Fantasy Sports Network.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man,
Cool.
dude.
Man, now I'm
So
sitting here thinking about
awesome.
ribs. I'm like, damn, I want some
Yeah.
ribs. I'm gonna cook some
Thinking
ribs
about
up.
bourbon. I'd like to get a drink, but I got to go to bed.
Yep.
So yeah, man. Yeah. And then hey, can't wait. Got to shout out the shout out. You know, just like we do every 22nd of the month. We love to have contributors on. This month we've got a great contributor. We'll get the word out and get a great story. That is going to be an awesome show. Can't wait.
Yep.
It means a lot to both of us. And, and then we've got coming up this weekend, we'll be on the Fantasy Sports Corp. We'll be talking some pro wrestling. And I'm sure there's going to be some good stuff on between what we're going to see on NXT, what we're going to see on Wednesday night with Dynamite, and then Friday night the fallout from SummerSlam is going to be something. So
Yep.
do
And then
not
Thursday night
miss.
we'll be live
Yeah,
Thursday
do
night
not
too. So
miss.
we'll talk a little bit about Dynamite then.
Yep.
Yep. But yeah, a couple things in the work. We're also Ellie, Jer, and I are talking. I'm gonna try to track down some Lucha Underground tapes, and we want to start a Lucha Underground podcast. Well, it'll be part of the No Shave Man Cave, but we're gonna watch a couple episodes and then just kind of review it, just because he's kind of a fan, and I think that'd be a lot of fun to add to our show and check it out. But that being said, if you ever do want to check out, first of all, thank you Fightful for giving us a little shout out. I mean, yeah,
You're the best, Katie.
paid
Don't
for
change.
the sponsorship, but they went above and beyond. Huge shout out to them. Appreciate the fact that she took the time to listen to make sure that it was something they like. So shout out to Fightful on that. Shout out to Thunder Rosa for having us on her show last month. Things
fun.
for us are going. I mean, we had our largest. We're almost at 100K downloads. Like what? It hadn't even
So
been a
cool.
year. It just blows my mind.
Woo!
So appreciate everybody listening. If you're new, if you're
6
checking us
months.
out, yeah, 6 months, and we're at
6
100K
months,
downloads
man.
on our audio version of podcast.
Yeah.
I personally am going to work on cleaning up our YouTube and try to get our YouTube running. So I'm going to work on that maybe this weekend a little bit because right now looking at it's kind of hard to find. And then the audio version of our podcast gets dropped in with our videos. So I'm going to try to shuffle that up and clean it up a little bit. Kind of created some thumbnails and all and stuff to use. Shout out to my boy Tony. He's going to help us out with an intro video, so that'll help too. Probably an outro too. I'll see if he'll help me do an outro, or he's going to teach me to do the intro and then I'll create our outro. But so a lot of stuff going on. A lot of shout outs to people helping us out, and we appreciate it. And as we get more and more news on stuff that could potentially happen, we will definitely be letting everybody know. But follow us on your socials, X, formerly known Twitter, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff at No Shave Man Cave, wherever you get your socials. If you want to listen to our audio version of our podcast and you don't have to look at these ugly mugs on YouTube, check us out wherever you get your podcast from. Hosted by Acast, but it is out there on pretty much every platform, including ones I'd never heard about, we're listed on. So, also, I didn't tell you this. Shout out to us. We were number 120 on Apple's podcast list.
Let's go.
Last week. So we for wrestling podcast, we broke in and we're 120. I think the highest we had was 74. So we got to climb back up there. And I don't remember. I think it was one of our 22nd shows that got a ton of attention and downloads. That got us up there. But shout out to the Fantasy Sports guys for everything they're doing. So lots of stuff going on with us. And we're going to keep plugging away. We took a little bit of a step back. We're not releasing 7 days a week like we were. Just life. But we will definitely be doing our Tuesdays, Thursdays. And follow us on those socials. And if any updates to the schedule, we'll let you know. Going to try to start going live at 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. Eastern time here on YouTube and Rumble. If we adjust it back to 7 again, we'll make sure we let everybody know. But 6 is kind of the way to go right now. Jared already mentioned 22nd show, August 22nd. We're going to have a special guest on. I already talked to him a little bit. It's going to be an amazing show. Might be a little heavy, but if you ever listen to our mental health shows, you know they get a little heavy. He's also pretty knowledgeable on wrestling, so probably talk some wrestling on there too. Maybe we'll even record 2 shows at once, and we'll have him on as like a wrestling show. But I'm rambling on, but I'm just excited about stuff going on. So again, No Shave Man Cave. Follow us wherever you get your socials, podcast, all that good stuff. You want to reach out to us, noshavemancave@gmail.com, noshavemancave@gmail.com. And you know what time it is. It's time for that hot tag for the Marine to take us out.
Bump and feed. Hey, like, share, subscribe. That's what we're here for, the No Shave Man Cave. To all our brothers and sisters in arms, we love you. Keep doing what you do. Get home safe. We're all waiting on you to get home. Until next time, friends, fam, we'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.